What's up, guys? What's going on? It's your favorite host, Queen G. Welcome to another special episode, in addition of the Queen G Live Experience. I have somebody for you today that's gonna blow your wigs off. Okay, this is a very special person. Just you know what I mean? Not just because of the awesomeness of his career only, but also just he's a great person. Just every time I've come in contact with him and encountered conversation, and we've crossed paths in our careers, it's just always great energy. You know what I'm saying? And people like that, you know, they're gonna be awesome eventually. You know what I mean? They're gonna do their thing. So, without any further ado, I want to welcome Mr. Special Guest, Emmy nominated actor, comedian, writer, producer. He wear a lot of hats, so we gonna let him tell you about the rest while I silence my phone over here to ghetto, right? Silence my phone. Sorry, y'all, about that. Little alarm is deciding to go off. I'm sorry about that, for real. Okay, power off. Boom. Okay, here we go. Let me bring uh, our special guest in. What's up, Mr. Melvin Jackson Jr.,
What's going
Emmy
on?
nominated.
Thank you for having
How
me.
you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling blessed. Happy to be alive. To survive this crazy pandemic we're in and going back into. So every day I wake up is truly a blessing.
Oh, it really, exactly. And this pandemic is hitting us all. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? It don't matter what level you on, it don't matter what you
Some people acting like it ain't here. You know what I mean? They act out there doing the most. Yeah, we just gotta use wisdom.
Right, exactly. And we gotta begin to really think about our future more and start, really setting some plans up for our family, our life, and all the above, because we just don't know. and
Right.
and our life don't belong to us anyway. We know
No.
that. So, you know what I mean? We know what it's about. So it's a lot to you. Like you are a lot of things in a good way, right? I first want to know. I don't know if you've ever told anybody this, but where did the whole acting bug come from? Like, where did that hit you? Like, when did that hit you? And did you know from early on that you were interested in this lane?
Well, I mean, not after acting, kind of, I slipped and fell into it. Entertainment, I feel like, I was always going to be in entertainment some kind of way. And I first started out managing artists, but also I was modeling at the time as well. Before I was started managing, and then the agency I was with had me audition for a PSA, and I never had any acting experience. That was my first time acting, and I, ended up booking the job. And once I was doing it, I was like, this is something that I can see myself doing, and having fun and making money at it. So I just continued to stay at it, and I watch movies not for entertainment purposes, but to kind of learn and figure out the techniques of acting, and just kind of went from there. Kind of God gifted in regards to just learning how to act, and then going on to other greater things. So it was just truly a blessing to come into something that I wasn't familiar with, and being able to succeed in it.
That's We got that in common. I was a talent manager too. Boy. That's a lane, ain't it?
I don't miss it at all.
It ain't no punk. Like,
No.
managing ain't no punk. Did you have a lot of artists, or was it like one main
I had
artist?
I had about maybe four. I had an artist, one art, a single art. I had two solo artists, and then I had two groups.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, so
Okay.
it was
That's
really
what's
cool
up.
because the music business is definitely, as people know, man, it's really cutthroat, and it for me it allowed me to maneuver in a way to where I still kept integrity. I didn't stab anybody in the back. I was very transparent about certain things, and I try to make sure that my artists got the best out of the deal. And I mean, the thing for me, the only thing I didn't like is that I'm a very hard worker, and for me is I like 15-20% for me is not as much as taking home 80%, as the talent. And so you do a lot of it's a lot of work that you have to do behind the scenes. And when you have when things are, especially in the music business, when things are not moving in the right direction where people are making a lot of money, it's not you're not making a lot. I end up
You're
putting
not
out.
making as much, right? You're making cuts and percentages.
Yeah, and I was
So
end up putting out more money than I was making because I was investing in my artists and just sending press kits and all these things. And so I was just like, yeah, I got to figure out something else that's going to allow me to make more money, doing something that I love. So
right,
the acting happened, and it was like, oh, I like these checks, and I'm gonna
right.
stay pushing this. Being in front of the camera, that wasn't something that I jumped in decided to do, but it was something that I was destined to do.
Right. God knew what your future plans were and what you were getting ready to get into. And thank God for the management thing because it just really helps you to practice,
Yes.
some of the negotiations and some of the, things that you have to do contractually and all of that kind of stuff. Because it's a lot to a career that people don't really, think about behind the scenes. And it's a lot. It's a lot. That's all I can say. What was the first job that you booked once
Uh,
you figured out that was, something you were interested in?
well, I booked a reenactment on America's Most Wanted, which is always interesting because you're like, well, people gonna think I'm just really the person. So good thing I wasn't a killer; I was a victim. So I'm like, well, glad that people didn't think, because people really think you the killer, and they be calling, hey, I got the person right here, and it's like I'm just an
Ah,
actor playing that person. So that was interesting. Just being on something that I watched, growing up, America's Most Wanted,
oh
like
yeah.
show. And it shoots in, it shoots in Maryland, so it was always interesting. Like, man, like it's based out of area that I'm from. And then The Wire was the next big thing. But it
Yeah.
took for me being a extra because they actually asked me to be an extra several times, and I said no. And after maybe the third or fourth time, I was like, well, maybe this is God testing me, and I'm glad I did because I met Wood Harris, I connected with him, we exchanged numbers, and I just got a chance to sit and learn as an extra, just everything that was happening. And then the seasons went on, and I auditioned for season 3, and throughout the years, I auditioned like 15 times total. And after that second time, I had a call back, and the casting director was Pat Moran was like, "Do what you did last time. You got this." Went in for the producers, David Simon and Judge George Pelicano, and the rest of the crew, and I booked the role of Bernard, and the rest was history. And that worked my career as an actor, and definitely allowed me to be out in LA and really make a name for myself.
Right. And believe it or not, those small bit roles, people do recognize you on, those moments and those bit roles and those lines, here and there that you get just popping up on screen. People, they sharp. They see the naps on your head. You know what I mean?
Right.
they know you. Like it's a trip. I want to read a comment of one of my guests. She said, "I just Googled Melvin Jackson Jr. I remember him from The Wire." That is what she said. Um, so yeah, I remember you too from that show. This was before you and I met. You know what I mean? I remember you from that show. Um, you're also, I want to talk more about the acting, of course, and some of the other. Let's talk about that now. Let's go into that right now. What are some of the other jobs that you have booked that have been, pretty major? Talk about some of the.
Um, Definitely the booking the role of Curtis Blow in New Edition story was truly a blessing, and it just kind of came out of nowhere because I knew about the New Edition story, and I was like, I told my agent like, hey, if you see a role, write for me, let me know. And I didn't even know any, regards that Curtis Blow was, had any in a relation with a New Edition. But when I got the audition, when I was like, oh, New Edition, like,
Mm,
oh wow. So New Edition is like one of my favorite groups, and that was my first concert going to as a kid. So it was truly a full circle moment. So getting a chance to audition, and then going through
right.
to the where I got, I got the audition the same day, and I rushed over to the audition, and I went in there, did what I thought that was my best, and left it on the table. And I remember getting a email from my agent saying, hey, you're being considered by the network, you're one of the top ones being considered. The next call,
Ooh,
got it. And I was like, oh, okay, great. So I
that is
went,
good.
yeah,
That's
I went in, I went on set, and Chris Robinson's a good friend of mine, and so it was a blessing to work with him. And then I found out Wood Harris is in the movie, so it's like another full circle moment. And just Chris Robinson, man, I thank him for pushing me to the next level to bring out the best in regards to Curtis Blow, because I didn't know, I went on set not knowing what I was to do. Was I trying to sound like him? What is it that they wanted? And so he simply told me, like, go and watch
mhm.
trailer, watch Crush Groove. And I was like, I did. He's like, do it again. And he's like, come back. And he just wanted me to be in that New York vibe. And we just kept going through the scenes, and we just, instead of saying cut, we just kept going. We just kept, so if after the same line or same take, we do another one. We do another one until he got what he wanted. And what you guys saw was the finished product of like truly being able to embody an icon. And I can't take credit for it. It was truly God, because when I walked on set, I didn't feel like myself. I felt like I was Curtis Blow. I had a different
Actually him, huh? You
I
gotta
had a different
be that
bravado about
character.
me. Yeah, I went on to say like like just I was in it.
And let me ask you this: besides finding out Curtis Blow's connection to New Edition, what were some of the other just interesting, facts that you found out about Curtis Blow as you were embodying his character?
Well, I mean, a lot of things I think I found out is that he was like the first main like rap artist to sign a major label deal. I think even with commercials and stuff like that. Like, just a lot of things that people don't know about him. Being the first and the pioneer of hip hop, and what he did for the music. And you see, listen to basketball and how that song has transcended in so many different areas, where Lil Bow Wow, changed the song
Hmm.
and did his own version. So, Curtis Blow, I remember, like I said, I remember him from Crush Groove, um, coming out in the leather, he had the jerry curl, talking about
Right.
25 over the world. So,
And
definitely,
you had to do the whole character with wardrobe and doing the
yeah,
wig
it's
and
so weird when they put
the
me in
whole nine.
yeah, they put me in a wig and the mustache. Like I said, I embodied them. I just transformed, and it was truly an out of body experience. And it was just like one of my best experiences as an actor, being able to be a part of that project, because it was nothing but love on set. Everybody was there to pay homage and
Hmm.
tribute, and then New Edition himself came through and was on set. So get the chance to see for them to watch me work. Like, everybody on set called me Curtis Blow. Like, it wasn't, that's not Melvin. It was like, what's up, Curtis Blow? Like, everybody saw me,
Yeah,
and that's what you want as an actor, for the people to see you,
right,
the
exactly.
character that you're playing.
And what were I guess I want to ask it like this. What were some of the your colleagues and things like that? What did they tell you was their favorite part about the character that you embodied as Curtis Blow?
Um,
Because you know how there are different scenes and there are, you know what I mean? What did they come to you with feedback on? I know that's weird because we don't want to talk about ourselves in that way, but what did people from the outside looking in, you know what I mean, give you credit on as far as the character and role that you played as Curtis Blow?
the biggest thing was that they didn't see me; they saw him. They saw him, and people who even know him was like, "Man, you played him really well." Like New York cats. The thing is, like, it's one
Yeah.
thing to, as an actor, to know you did a good job, but then also have somebody that you're portraying, and that one, this person has to, kind of what they're going to say than what people who know this person says. So the simple fact that I had people around me that know him and from New York and from that era was like, man, you killed that role. You did a good job. Like, for me, that my job as an actor was like, it was solidified. Like, I know that I did a good
Right.
job, and it was truly, a blessing to get that. And people, even people that auditioned for that role was like, man, you really did that. Like, I auditioned for that, but you killed that, bro. So it just means a lot.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And we should celebrate our milestones. a lot of people don't know how to celebrate their milestones, and they think it's bragging or boasting or anything like that. But hey, when you see yourself go from one level to the next, you
Right.
should celebrate. You should embody that, and embrace your moments and embrace your different levels and things like that. um, and it takes a lot of work to do what you have to do. So it's like no one understands from the inside really the grind and the late nights on learning lines and juggling family and you know what I mean, the whole nine. And you're married too. You are married, you have children. Talk about that. Talk about your
My
wife
my
and you know what
amazing
I mean?
Emmy nominated Kelly Jenrette, man. Truly, she's a gem. She's a blessing to have. Just because she's a hard worker. Like people see me as a hard worker and what I do, but she's as an actor, like people only get this, people only get to see the finished product of what she does. As an actor, like I get to see the work that she puts in constantly, over and over and over again, hours after hours, and it pushes me to be like, man, like I need to step my game up as an actor. So just to know that you have someone that sharpens your iron, so to say, is truly a blessing. And then also on a spiritual level, like just to know that you have someone that's challenging you on a spiritual level, that making sure that you are living up to being the head, and you are representing God in the best manner, and then making sure that that we're united front. And it's this industry is very tricky, man. Like it will try to divide you. It will get you to compete against your own, whether it's your wife,
Mhm.
whether it's your sister. And it's like you don't need to compete. If you're on the same team, you don't need to compete. I know what I'm good at. She knows what she's good at, and all we do is continue to build together. We don't need to compete against each other. Like I know, like
Yes.
she's a beast of an actress. Like that's hands down. Like she is the best actor in our family right now. Like I'm not going to compete against that because I know that she works really hard at what she's done. She's been doing this longer than I have.
And it's a blessing to share the same kind of position, as your mate, because you guys understand each other, the hours that you have to put in and the work and the this and the that. You understand each other's, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
What you do, you understand that. Let me ask you this: personal character of your wife. What is your favorite personal character? Not as an actress, but just her. You know what I mean? Her.
Um, I would say her wittiness. She has a dry humor, and sometimes I don't know when she is serious, when she's not. Like I'm still learning. But I just like how like she keeps you on your toes, man. Like she's not, if you don't come, like she said, she's like, don't come for me unless I send for you, and she's very quick witted. And so I mean I love that because it keeps me on my toes. It makes us not take ourselves so serious sometimes. And I have even
Yeah.
I had to learn like not to take things as personal. Like when I'm like, okay, she's not trying to hurt me, but even if it does say something, it's like, okay. But it's just that just like I just like that she is witty, man. Like, I think that's important. Like
And y'all
taking
can,
it's not so serious
mhm.
and
Right.
you can have fun with.
Right. That's awesome. That's awesome. Um, and I understand that because I'm married too. I've been married, a long time, and outside of work, we gotta date each other. We gotta, balance it all, and it's a balancing act, and you
Right.
gotta, incorporate all of that in each other, in each other's schedule. Even making love. I ain't talking
Absolutely.
about personal stuff, but even that is important. And
Absolutely.
intimacy and all of those kind of things. So
It makes a difference,
I
man.
want to talk to you about. Let's switch gears a little bit, subject wise. Producer.
I ain't mention my because I told my kids real quick too. I have three
Oh
amazing
yeah, yeah.
sons.
Let's do that. Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Tell me.
my oldest son I had when I was 17. He's 23 now. Melvin the third. And I got my middle son, Deshaun, who is 18, and then my youngest son, Donovan, who's 13. So I have three amazing sons that, are my legacy, and this is what I continue to strive and live in greatness for, to build a foundation for them to be able to carry on the name.
You look like a baby and got a grown son.
Right. I age
But
back.
black don't crack.
Right.
It don't crack. And we go, it is what it is. We keep drinking our water and taking our vitamins, we good to go.
There you go. Look at my water right here.
Look. I got my vitamin hemp oil. I got all that right here next to me. You know what I mean? We doing what we got to do. So, comedian, talk about that.
Oh man, comedy. Uh, Comedy was my therapy. I started comedy 2012, and at first I was supposed to do it a little bit before, like probably a little bit sooner. And me and my best friend were talking about, we were gonna do it, do a comedy together, and we was gonna go up. And I chickened out, and he ended up, doing comedy first. And I just was like, because I was been around comics all the time, and I was like, I would love to do comedy one day, but I was like, I don't want to just do it and not be good. So I was skeptical. I was like, I don't want to go up there and get booed. And so one night I went up to the open mic, and I did about almost 10 minutes my first time, and I had a great time. I used a lot of profanity, which is like I look at it now and I'm like cringe. I'm like, oh my god, like because I was nervous, so still learning the art of it. But I love it. I miss it, and whenever I'm not on stage, it's like man, it's kind of like it was with acting. When I'm not acting, it's kind of like you haven't gone through withdrawals. So I'm happy to be back on stage and looking forward to doing on a weekly basis. And now we're trying to get through COVID, and then now things are back. So we gotta still be careful.
Yeah.
I might be the comedian on stage with a mask on the whole time. So I'm like, I don't trust none I don't trust none
Mm-hmm. And the most another thing that's amazing is that you can, mix the worlds, your comedic side with the acting, and you can kind of, bridge those two gaps together. You can do a comedy. You can be diverse and do different types of things. You know what I mean? So
right,
serious acting.
Yeah, because comedy really helped me in the acting. It helped me, be able to improv a little bit more, allow me to be just freer when it comes to comedy, physical comedy, and then also I feel like it opened up the door for me in the comedy world as far as TV and film, because before then I was always just going out for dramatic roles, and I don't think I was so much of the comedic stuff until I started doing stand up, and then I started writing my own projects and doing more comedies and skits and stuff like that. So I think people, oh, he is funny, so they saw me in a different light, and that just opened up more doors for me.
That's awesome. Let me talk about the writing side of you. Let's get that out there and talk about when you began writing and what was your first piece you wrote?
Right.
You know what I mean? Was it a script? Was it a monologue? Like what was it? Your first piece?
The first thing as far as writing was poetry. I started writing poetry at a young age. That was my outlet. And then as far as writing for TV film was a script that I wrote loosely based around my life, growing up, becoming a single father, and that whole journey of high school. And it's called Schools on the Other Foot. So I wrote that, and I also had submitted it when I was in college as a play, and I ended up getting like an A on it. I was in a black theater class, and then my first script, that was my first script. I ended up getting it in the hands of 50 Cent. So it was like for me, my first.
That's dope.
It was like my first script, like 50, and I didn't give it to him. Like I gave it to Tony Yayo, and I was on a tour bus, and then Tony Yayo came on the bus. Was like, "Hey, 50 want to see you," and it was to get around the time he's doing "Get Rich or Die Trying." And I come on the bus, and he's on the bus with him and Olivia, and he's like, "Hey, here's my script in his hand," and he's like, "Hey, you wrote this?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'm looking to do some movies straight to DVD." I was like, "Cool, great," you know what I mean? So some fact was like my first script getting his 50 Cent's hand, like that's not a bad situation at all.
That's big time.
So it motivated me to
write. First beginning writing wise. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not a bad level to be on your first project, and you know
Absolutely.
what I mean?
Absolutely.
And you also have to take that level and go from there and push it even further and be like, okay, we started with 50 Cent, but where can we go from there? We go take it to another level. Absolutely. We ain't gonna stop there. You know what I'm saying? And I know for me, I always have to challenge myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's important that we do that, period. You know what I mean? With our own work, our own writings, our own this, our own that, even with what we do and just embodying our whole career, we got to constantly, work at it and put that energy in to make yourself better. You know what I'm saying? It's very important. Let's talk. And I'm so proud of you. Golly. Like Emmy nominated. and you and your wife both are Emmy nominated actors. So it wasn't just one. Like, where were you when you found out? What was the Emmy nomination for? And kind of talk about that whole exciting part of your career.
Well, I was at work when I found out, and I called my wife. Actually, you know what? I called my wife first because I found out she was nominated. So I called her. I was like, "Hey, babe, you're Emmy nominated actress." She was like, "Yeah, I know. What about you?" I was like, "I don't know." She looks down. She's like, "Yo, babe, you're an Emmy nominated actor." So I was like, we both were nominated at the same time, and then we found out that we're the first African American
African
Americans
American, yep.
to be nominated the same year. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. And so, my wife was nominated for The Handmaid's Tale, her role as Annie,
Uh-huh.
in season 2, episode 4, I believe. And then I was nominated for my role as Eddie Murphy in a web series I wrote and produced and started entitled "This Eddie Murphy Role Is Mine, Not Yours." And that was a true blessing because anybody that know me know how much I look up to Eddie Murphy, and he's one of the reasons I became an actor and a comedian. And so to get nominated for something, a role that I wrote for myself, was the truth. Like, God was like, this is the direction I want you to go in. Like, it wasn't off nobody else's show, it wasn't off nobody's movie. It was like, this is something that you created. You came up with this idea and did it with your
And
friends,
nominated, yeah, nominated for it.
Yeah.
That's even more awesome. And when they nominate you for an Emmy for your own piece, do they also give you writing credit? Like, how does that work?
Well, see, I was nominated as an actor, so I don't
Oh,
get
okay.
it, but it's like we get a certificate. Like, I was on stage with Ed Harris, John Leguizamo, uh, you name, like, everybody. I mean, the big names. Me and my wife was on stage with them. It was crazy. I read Regina King. Like, it was we're
Oh,
instant. Like, we next to, these are our peers, people we look up to. Here we on stage with our peers, and it was such a, like, that was one of the best experience as an actor that rewarding experience, that you can go through. And then to do that with my wife, like, that was such an amazing journey. And that was nothing but God. Like, I can't, like I said,
right,
that was nothing but God. He orchestrated the whole thing, as far as us both being nominated, like, at the same time, us going through that process. And it was more powerful for us to do it together than to try to do
right.
it separately. So it was a true blessing. Like, we were in a great company of amazing actors and actresses that just a great company of people. So I have no complaints at all. Like, I'll forever be Emmy nominated. I'm gonna probably put it on my driver license.
Right, right. Exactly.
I'm just a kid from DC with a dream. Never imagined being Emmy nominated, or never even dreamed of it. But here we are.
Right. Yeah, it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. And I think that you're phenomenal. I think your wife is phenomenal. I think the fact that, African Americans in the acting world have accomplished this level, and you know, I just want you to keep up the good work. I just want you to keep putting out those good projects, keep, doing those scenes, keep following your path and your lane that God has you on. You know what I mean? And it's just important that you step into your uh, fullness so that the world can be blessed.
Right.
You know what I mean? The world can be blessed. And I got another question for you now. This is hilarious, and this is off subject. Have you ever met my brother Tyrese?
Yes, I have. I actually
Okay.
did worked on a project with him in Annapolis many years ago. And then I've been to his house, crazy house.
Really?
Yeah.
He always having parties.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, last time I was at his house was for something for Robbie Reed. It was amazing. He
Yep.
performed, and then I saw him probably about a year or so ago, maybe like about 2 years ago. So yeah, good brother.
Yeah, he's always throwing and hosting parties. People don't know that about him, but he be having the grill going and the club open at his house and the this and that. And if you ever hang out with him in that capacity, you liable to see everybody over there.
Yeah.
I met Keisha Cole over there. Her and I had a little run in though. But yeah, that wasn't so pleasant. That wasn't so pleasant. But it's all good. I ain't gonna bring up all the secrets of what happened. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna bring it up here in your time and your space. But I met Trey Songz over there, Vin Diesel, Akon, Snoop Dogg, Tank with his children. Like he had his kids there. You know what I'm saying? They be all hanging around the open grill. You know what I mean? That he got. Yeah, Gibson Hanna. What do you call it? Gibsiana. That's what he calls it. Yeah. So it's fun going over there, and he's always doing something. Even when I go over there, just as family, you know, he's a good brother. Like his energy is dope. We've always enjoyed each other's company, and he's always been protective over his big sister. I'm his older sister. And even when we were younger, when he was 12 years old and I was a teenager, I got a child behind me. Can you get up? Get out of the, go down. I'm sorry. I got a child behind me. Forgive me for that. This type. Sorry. Yes, get out the thing. I'm sure Melvin understands. Sorry about that. But he's just always been a great dude and protective, and he found out his lane of arts and stuff like that in high school. He didn't start acting and singing and doing things like that until high school. He booked his first commercial, the Coca-Cola commercial back then. So even me, it's been interesting in having a brother, celebrity and actor and singer and worldwide entertainer that worldwide is really interesting because everybody know my brother, and you know it puts me in a unique position. Not for my own career, but just it's just interesting, the whole dynamic of it all, the questions I get, and sometimes people stalk me to try to get to him, or it's just weird. So get ready. Them you probably already getting some of that. Because people are weird sometimes. They're strange.
It's very interesting.
Really. Exactly. So yeah, I just, and I gotta talk about this, Melvin. You and I came together on a piece in a project, and I've also interviewed you at an event in LA, I believe it was. I can't remember quite, but I remember interviewing you in front of a red carpet, and we ended up using that piece for my documentary. We did a documentary piece, but we just shot the trailer only. It was about our life about being homeless. Me and my husband's real life about being homeless, right? And that sucker is at 42K on social media. And you're in that clip. I gotta tag you in that.
You send it to me. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're in a quick clip, and you're my celebrity in the film. You're my celebrity, and I can't. I gotta go back and go over the concept and try to remember why I had that clip in there. But it's at 42K, so we got something in common that we share on social media. I'm proud of us in that sense. And that's a piece I wrote and we directed and we also shot.
Okay.
We didn't put the whole thing out because, oh man, me and my husband, as we got to get in it, it was just so emotional for us that we didn't finish it. Like as we began to shoot it, and yeah, because it was scenes like us sleeping in our car and stuff, and washing up in bathroom, gas station, gas,
right.
Right. It's just whew, that piece was powerful. And the guy that played my husband, his name is Keithan Polk. He's a real deep dude, an actor that we end up. He's not even an actor. We just cast him because he favored my husband, but he did such a phenomenal job. And then the girl that played me, her name was Mika. She's a girl that lives out in Las Vegas too, and she looked just like me. The head shape, the like we cast dead on. I can't. I ain't even go play with you on that. Like we cast dead on, and it was phenomenal. I wish we would have been able to work through our emotions to finish that piece, and maybe we will one day. Maybe you and I can get together and finish it or something. I don't know. But it's a powerful piece about, our experience of being homeless. And that was just a part in our life that just, it was so hard,
Right.
but out of every situation you end up, if you are led by God, you end up finding more purpose out of the trials and tribulations that you experience. And we end up creating a program in Las Vegas after that called Operation Bring Your Best. And we end up serving the community and feeding the homeless and things like that. And I also wrote a book called Get Back Up Again, that talks about, that experience as well. And at the end, there's a picture of me and a homeless guy in the park. And he is handsome as get out. You know what I mean? That photo of him. Because when I met him, I was like, golly, you too cute to be out here.
Right.
You know what I mean? But the picture of me and him at the end, I ended the book with those photos of him and I. These are faces of people that you would never assume that would be homeless.
Yeah.
So never judge a book by its cover.
Yeah, everybody got a story. Everybody got a story.
Yeah, exactly. So tell us what you want us to know. Tell your audience and your fans what you want to know about you, anything that might be coming up, anything you're working on, things like that.
Well, two things that I'm, becoming, definitely one thing I'm an advocate for. Another thing I'm, helping with the movement, mental health and domestic violence, mental health and suicide prevention advocate, and also domestic violence. I have a domestic violence documentary. I'm just kind of helping to keep the conversation going, pushing the movement, being a part of the solution and not continue to be part of the problem by brushing into the wayside and not speaking about it. But I mean, definitely as, someone I lost my father 2014 who committed suicide. So I am one that just continue to talk about mental health and bringing awareness in the Black community in general, not just Black community, but just for us, we as Black people and Black men, we don't talk about it. Mental health and what we're going through and things we may be feeling. People make us feel like we're punks and we're feeling this kind of way or depressed. And it's like, no, we have to continue to keep the conversation going about our mental health because it's important and the enemy is attacking us. And it definitely, if the enemy attacks the man in the house, it's going to be an interesting situation, because if the man can't protect his family, feeding them mentally, it's not going to work out for anybody. And
right, because we depend on our men to be strong and the leaders of the household and fathers and take on that leadership role. So when he's mentally messed up, it impacts the whole situation. I know a lot of men that have went through mental instabilities and things like that. So that's a movement that I definitely can support and get behind. And I hope that my audience believes in that and can, support you in that. And when you go back later, after we get done with this interview, write any information on how we can be of a blessing to your movement, whether it's donations, sending a cash app, whatever. Write that information in for us. So we can have, to support you in that. Because that's a real thing. That's a real thing.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that they not really convicts, they mentally unstable. You know what I mean? It's a lot of brothers in jail that flipped out or was imbalanced in some way or, couldn't deal with certain things but didn't know how to react to it that ended up in jail. And they not really prisoners. They just, I got family like that. So it's a real thing. That's a real thing. You know what I mean? And we need our brothers. We need our brothers as leaders, and we need them to be strong. And, you know, man. So what's been the feedback from that movement?
I mean, people have been thankful for the transparency. I think for me, the healing process, even with the suicide prevention, is that I'm get to tell my story and how it affected me, and how me talking about it has helped to heal me, and understanding that God was truly the light that got me through, because I didn't know if I would wanted to be here. I don't, I was in depressed mode, losing my father. I talked to him every day. We were very close. I talked to him an hour or so, probably 2 hours before, after, before he did it. And so just, it was just, for me, as always, think about things that I could have done better, that I didn't do. And it forced me to care more about people, and truly be an advocate for mental health awareness and speak about it, because I'm like, had I not lost my father, I don't know if I would have been an advocate or be on where I'm at now in regards to it. So unfortunately, I had to lose somebody for me to wake up and be like, all right, there's the issue. There's something going on, because I'm like, this would have never been my father. So he clearly wasn't in the right frame of mind, because this is not him at all. So yeah, man, it's truly one of those things that you just don't know what a person's going.
And I think African Americans and things like that too, we experience a lot of pain that we push under the carpet, and we don't really address, and we don't really talk about, and we sometimes you don't find out till you snap, or until it comes out, the pressure gets to be too great, and then it's like, dang, I didn't know you were going through that.
Right.
And it's because of how they treat us too. Society treats us with revealing that side of things mentally too. Yeah. We get treated bad for being mentally unstable.
And you see with Simone Biles, you see it with other people, and it's like, we don't owe y'all anything. We don't. I mean, like I said, we don't owe y'all anything. It's our mental health. People think because you're a celebrity that they don't have the same problems as everybody else. They're like, they're humans. Like, come on, they're not your property. Like, people like that's a disadvantage sometimes, where it's like you can't have a moment to yourself. As a public figure, everything is scrutinized. It's like people got jokes. It's like there's nothing to joke about when it comes to mental health at all. There's nothing funny about it.
Exactly. Well, you have been such a great guest, and you're a friend of mine, and I just, appreciate you taking the time. I know you've been busy today. You even told me that before we even scheduled this. Like, I'm gonna have a full day that day, but you took the time out to, bless my audience and speak with us about, some of the things that are going on with you, your life, your career, your personal life. And, I just really appreciate you taking the time to do this for me. So give us your information, whatever you want us to end this interview with, information wise, even if it's your social media platforms that you want people to follow you on, or whatever it is.
Yeah, you can go to melvinjacksonjr.com, Melvin Jackson Jr. on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Also, make sure you guys go and support me and my wife. We have a children's book out. It's Adventures of the Adventures of Jimmy the Fly on Amazon. Also Barnes and Noble online. And it's an amazing movie called The Son of the South that I'm a co-executive producer of. It's a Spike Lee produced film. And it's truly a great movie story about civil rights movement, and also Bob Zellner, and how, a Caucasian male who slipped and fell into the movement actually helped bring awareness to it. So definitely is a great project to watch. It's on Amazon, Apple TV, all streaming platforms. Definitely go check it out. Truly a blessing to be a part of the project. And man, I'm just honored to just be in the position God has me. And this is just the beginning. I'm just getting started. And I can't wait to see what's next. This next chapter of 40 is looking really good right now. I'm staying busy and staying motivated.
That's awesome. And you look great for your age, and Congratulations on becoming an author. I experienced that in 2019, time 13 times.
Look, you actually bought the book.
Huh?
You actually bought a book. You got one. You remember you have it for your kids, the children's book.
Oh yeah, I didn't remember that. Okay, at least I support it,
yeah,
right? I support
it. We was on a bus in Vegas, and you got the book. You bought the book from me.
Oh, okay. That's what's up. Yeah. Well, y'all know Queen G is a supporter of entrepreneurs and things like that. So I just think you dope. Period. Just meeting you, out in Vegas, and I think we even hung out in LA too, because we did a party or an event or something at Alonzo Williams.
Yep.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, I saw Alonzo on Saturday, matter of fact.
Yeah, and he doing his thing too with his podcast, and I love all the iconic legends he's bringing on his show, which is dope. I just think everybody's growing and really, really coming along, and I'm just proud of all of us as African Americans and as entertainers and as creative beings. Right. It's a blessing. It's a blessing, and anything and any time you want to update my audience on what you're doing, just holler at me, and I'll always make time for you.
I appreciate you.
I want you to know that. And tell your lovely wife congratulations too. And y'all keep up the good love between each other and, companionship. And we need stronger couples out here, that really give us an example of what true romance is about. You know what I mean? And y'all solidify that. And y'all doing everything together. And that is a blessing. And I'm proud of y'all. So
thank you so much.
Yeah, so let's get off of here. I'm gonna see you next time. Thank you for again taking the time out to be on my podcast today. And you have an amazing evening. Okay.
Be blessed.
Love you.
Love you too.
See you next time. Bye-bye. All right, that was celebrity Emmy nominated actor Mr. Melvin Jackson Jr. Taking the time to bless us with his, career and talk to us about some of the things that he's been working on. And you got the inside scoop right here on Queen G Live Experience. Share this live, send it out to everybody, and let's keep bringing these exclusives and these amazing, powerful sit-down interviews with everybody. And y'all keep me in your prayers. My health. Keep me in your prayers, y'all. I really could use it. I appreciate that. So without any further ado, I'm going to jump off of here. Love y'all. I'll see y'all next time, okay? Peace.